Well, hello there. This is Nick Norderell, and I am coming to you, talking to you about this upcoming holiday season, expectations, and boundaries. So, it is October. It's almost time for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Chili-thon, backyard, fall festivals, all those things, which probably some of those things have already occurred and are going on as I am recording this. However, I feel the need to come to you to talk to you about some pretty important etiquette things, such as if you are the host, and I love to host, but if you are hosting, it is up to you to communicate your expectations and your boundaries to the people that will be coming into your home, such as, are people allowed to wear shoes in your home? I'm on the train of no. So if that is the case, and especially if you have people coming over that are they don't know that, you need to let them know that ahead of time. I personally have told somebody that, and they told me they wouldn't be visiting me because they want to wear their shoes and yada yada. Okay, that's fine, but you have to understand that there's certain cultures where wearing shoes in the house is just not a thing that they do. And though I don't come from that culture, I do come from the standpoint of cleanliness, and the bottom of our shoes are very dirty. All right. So if your guests are not allowed to wear shoes in your home, then I have shoe covers at my door. They hang on the door. I order them by the hundred from Amazon. They're fairly affordable. So if that's the thing, then do that, because I know even though I have done it, I don't really like just wearing socks in someone else's home, because did you sweep before I got here? Is your floor clean? So that's the thing. So pose that to your guests, and then they can make an informed decision about if they are going to come to your event, if they, what, and then how are they going to govern themselves. The other thing, and I am so embarrassed to say this, but is it okay if somebody takes a number two at your home? Two events. When I was a young person, my parents were hosting something at the house, and a family member went and blew the bathroom up and clogged it up. And so that family member didn't give any money towards the plumbing expenses that were incurred, because my dad is not a plumber. We didn't have a snake to go down into the toilet. So, somebody had to come in for that. And so you're left with that. And then I was also at a family function, and this particular family member, her half bath is like really right next to the kitchen where you would think a pantry would be, but that's her half bath. And so a family member went in, right before we were getting ready to eat, a family member went in there and blew up the bathroom. Who wants to smell that while we're eating? So that's a thing. So do you need to communicate that to your guests? I mean, I guess if you tell them not to, somebody's going to do it. And then it depends on the food that you serve and the integrity of that person's GI tract. So that's the thing. And then the other thing of it is, if you have indicated on your invites how many guests that person, like if you say how many people are they bring it, and they just say one, if that person shows up with a plus one or plus two, three, is that an issue? Especially if they don't call ahead. Personally, I do try to ask ahead of time. It's been a long time since I've had a plus one to take somewhere, but sometimes it's assumed if that person is married, or if they're dating, or if they have children, or what have you. But it is a good idea, if you're inviting people over, to ask them how many people are coming with them, and then communicate to them. If a plus one, two, or three is a issue for you, then, excuse me, bad English, is an issue for you, then you need to communicate that to people so that there's no misunderstandings. Let's see what else. So that's as far as hosting. What kind of atmosphere do you set for the people when they come? Personally, for me, if I'm hosting an event, I don't bring any food unless I ask you to, because a lot of times I have a certain theme or a certain vein I want the food to be in, and if it does not entail fried chicken, then you've thrown it off. And some people say, well, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to you because you didn't host a party, you didn't put it together. I don't want fried chicken at the event because I might be hosting a healthy eating event. You just never know. So I think it's rude and in bad taste to bring food, especially if the host says do not bring food. Communicate that to your guests. That is one hefty invite. But sometimes in this day and age, you do have to be very, very clear because those social graces and communication go out the door a lot of times. Then the other thing of it is, if you are invited to a party, what kind of guest are you? Do you show up on time or do you show up 30 minutes ahead of time? So my dad was military, and every time we went somewhere, we were at least 30 minutes early. I didn't realize what an imposition this posed on people until he did this to me one time. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of rude, because clearly I'm not starting until a certain time. And then you come, and then now I have to kind of juggle a few things that had not planned for. So if you get there early, it's okay to sit in your vehicle, or how about call the person and say, hey, I might get there a little early. Do you need me to do anything? Is it okay if I come early? Those are some things. Some people say it's not that serious. I just show up. But there are a lot of things that people don't say that really probably are a problem, but they just don't tell you. And then you find out when you don't get invited to anything else. So you can govern yourself according to that. So that's all I have for this particular episode. Stay tuned, and I'll be back with another episode of Nick Nardarell, the relationship non-expert. Take care.